And hello YouTube. It's Wednesday morning, and it's really Wednesday morning this time, not to be confused with yesterday when I think I said it was Wednesday morning and it was actually Tuesday morning. December 21st, 2022, 5:36 a.m. and just check the Google traffic, and there's no traffic to speak of on the I-10. So, guess a lot of people starting their Christmas vacation already. Not me, not yet. Actually, my last work day before my Christmas break will be tomorrow night. So, yeah, usually work my usual. Oh wow. My car just stalled out. That's not good. It is really cold out. I've never noticed an issue with this car in the cold before. The temperature gauge is like all the way down, so. Anyway. Yeah, my last work day before Christmas is tomorrow night. Pretty much back on my regular schedule. The mandatory overtime is over, and I haven't seen any overtime shifts being offered that I can grab. And yeah, so my regular day back to work next week would be Sunday night, but since Sunday night is Christmas night, I'm off, so I don't go back to work until Monday night. So the night of Boxing Day. Oh, I hate getting stuck in this traffic jam. And it's come to my attention that it's not just the Amazon that I work at, GYR3, but if you look, the one on the right, which I think is PHX7, also lets out apparently the same exact time. So those people are trying to go out. Oh, and I feel sorry for the guy that you can see that's waiting to go. I assume he's turning right, but here comes the guy trying to turn left, and I don't know if he's got. Oh, he does have enough gap to get through, barely. Don't back into me, dude. Ooh, huh. And the guy that was turning right managed to squeeze in. Grr. Yeah. Wow. That guy totally went when I had the right of way. That was a kind of psychotic maneuver there. Oh, my teeth are hurting today. Not really sure why. I haven't noticed any kind of abscess or cavity or anything, but it's kind of been an off and on thing for a while now. Not all of them, but one of the ones in the front, on the top. And I've got dental insurance now through Amazon since open enrollment. There were two dental plans. I got the better of the two. It really wasn't that much of a price difference, so I figured, as messed up as my teeth is, it would be a good thing to get. But I never have really figured out how to go about using it. So that might be something constructive to work on during Christmas vacation. Other than that, no real plans. Haven't really heard from any of my family. If Priscilla was planning on doing anything, she hasn't mentioned it to me. Well, and it affected me in a negative way, and I don't want my kids to go down that path. On the radio, they're talking about getting sloppy drunk. Good time. I'll do it. Let's drive us home, dude. Yeah, just drive us home. I'm the designated driver, and I'm okay with it. Dana Cortez on Instagram if you want the study. All right, that's going to do it for In Case You Missed It, and it's brought to you by NHTSA. Who you a loop, it is. Who you a loop, it is. I became what you fantasized about.
beat coming. Had to quit sending music out cause somebody around leave something. Every girl that I mess with knows what's up, but they keep coming.
I hate getting stuck in this little traffic jam here. Shit drives me nuts. Oh, and if this guy was tight against the center lane, I could pass him on the right, but I'm stuck here. Oh, maybe he's gonna scoot up. Oh, and look how much space is between him and the next car. What a jerk. I mean, not that I can go until the light changes anyway, but I just hate being stuck like that. Oh, so gosh, what was I going to talk about? I don't know. Today was a good day at work. Had our front half inbound Christmas party, which was actually pretty cool. Ended up being about an hour long, and the second half of it, I got paid for it. I don't know how Dustin got approval for us all to do that on the clock. Actually, I do. He mentioned something about that he was going to basically say that we were having our stand-up in there so we could keep the room longer and we could be paid for it. So props to Dustin for that. I got a card with little things from the front half management team for outbound. Did I say inbound? I meant outbound. Outbound is a really small department. And it's kind of an odd department because it's split into two physically separated areas that are separated by quite a bit. That guy is on the wrong side of the road. But yeah, inbound is a big department. They could never pull off a little Christmas party like this. There's just not a spot in the building big enough for it. But yeah, it's kind of neat being in such a small department. And Alex told me at this point that she feels I'm probably her strongest driver. So that felt really good. Worked the last two corrals all night long. And you think by now I'd know the dock door numbers for those, but I don't. But yeah, worked a total of six doors. Both of those are big zones with 3 doors each. And I couldn't even say how many trucks I loaded today. It was a lot. I mean, I only finished so many, but as far as just, I don't know, I loaded a lot. And also unloaded a trailer of UPP as well. I think I kind of surprised Alex quite a bit. She came over to tell me that, to ask me to unload the truck of UPP, and I already had 2/3 of it done by the time she showed up. It's like, oh yeah, I saw it. I've been working on it. But yeah, the Christmas party was supposed to be potluck, and I guess technically it was. I didn't bring anything. I was thinking about bringing a big bag of chips, but I ended up bringing nothing because I kind of forgot about it and barely woke up in time to head to work today. So, and it ended up being not a big deal at all. They bought like a giant. I want to say like a 5-foot sub or something like that from Fry's, and then God knows how many pizzas, which that alone would have been enough food for us. But then there was people who brought potluck stuff that they'd prepared, or just stuff that they brought. It was all in such large quantities that it was way more food than what was needed. When it was all done, everyone was just like, hey, take stuff home. And I am actually taking stuff home. Somebody brought 2 bags of cuties, the little super sweet oranges. I have like 4 of those in my bag. the way they had the big party sub cut up, somebody before I got in there, I probably got in there about, I don't know, probably 7 after midnight. The whole thing kind of went from like midnight to 1 a.m. I gotta pay attention to my driving. That guy's lollygagging. The guy in the truck. The other guy's lollygagging right behind him. That's that super long entrance ramp I mentioned before, where you drive almost a mile before you actually get onto the freeway. Quite a lot of traffic exiting from the I-10 eastbound onto the 202 south. I've only driven that freeway a couple of times. This doesn't go anywhere I need to go. It's a really new freeway, really neat freeway though, and it's the newest. Oh, that guy just ran the red light to get in front of me. What an asshole. Anyway, somebody had taken the party sub and cut it all up and put a slice, prepared these little paper plates with a decent slice of the sandwich and a mustard packet and a mayonnaise packet, and grabbed one of those, and then I put a slice of pizza on that, and I went back, got another plate, got a couple of things from the potluck table that looked all right, and it was kind of over, and we realized just how much extra food there was. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna grab some. But I grabbed two more of those plates with sandwiches, put bowls on top of them to kind of protect them in my bag. Ate those on my third break. Anyway, the card I got, nothing. I don't know. It's kind of neat that they all made little all the management team for Outbound made all those cards. They're all handwritten, but they weren't actually made to anybody specific, which is fine. It's not like they all really know me personally enough to write anything, but still, so it was a nice touch. Dustin kind of put his trademark fun facts in every one. That's kind of been his thing at stand-up since he took over this team as the area manager. And our ops manager was actually there as well, which was surprising. I don't see her all that often, so that was kind of nice of her to join us. I forget her name, but she's really nice. I like her. Anyway, yeah, he always, I don't know what website he goes to or if he just Googles it, but he always, every stand-up, he'll just throw out these fun facts on this day, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's just the most random shit. I do remember one time, it was a couple months ago, like his random fact he put on, like, on this day. It's like, and he said something like, "Oh, it's sort of a history thing. Probably not that big of a deal. But on this date, the Berlin Wall fell." and pretty much everybody that was over 45 all looked at each other and looked at him and like, it was like, not a big deal. That was huge. But I'm guessing Dustin is probably about 23. This is like his first job out of college, so he just graduated last year. it's kind of weird having like the head guy in charge, like what actually the youngest people on the team. But this is kind of what he went to school for. In fact, it was kind of funny. Like the stand-up beginning of the shift, people were asking, it's like, hey, tell us more about yourself, Justin. And he was just kind of throwing like where he's from, and what he went to school for and whatnot. And, kind of wild. He actually moved here for this job from Michigan, which is pretty wild. It's been a long time since I've relocated for a job. So I've done some pretty long commutes for a job, which this is kind of one of them. But as far as sending out resumes and applications or whatever to jobs in other cities and then taking the job, I think the last job that I did that for was when I was afternoons and music director for KZJH, KZ95 radio in Jackson, Wyoming. And my God, I was 20 when I took that job. 20 when I took that job, 21 when I got fired. And yeah, never really looked for a job to move for. At this point, I'm so anchored in Phoenix. Just the thought of moving is not really a feasible thing. And obviously, I wouldn't even consider moving until I resolve whatever's up with my younger daughter Lily. As far as what's up with my older daughter Allison, she's been texting me lately, pretty regularly, but she's yet to tell me where she's staying. So I honestly have no idea where she is. She could be in California. She could be in Slab City. Could be in LA. Could be back in Portland. I really have no idea. I figure when she's ready to tell me, she'll tell me. And as far as Lily, I just have no idea. I really dropped the ball on that. I don't know. There's quite the traffic jams out down on I-17. I just looked off to the right and saw a whole lot of tail lights not moving. And I've just got a hip-hop station on low volume, so I haven't been catching any traffic reports. Could be an accident down there. God, speaking of accidents, man, traffic coming to work today was, I did pretty good, but I ended up going through the airport and taking Buckeye to 16th Street South to I-17. I-17 around the Durango curve to the stack, and then I-10 to work. But yeah, taking the freeway to work wasn't an option at all. I mean, it's pretty normal for the I-10 to, the 202 to the I-10 to be no good. That's just always jammed up. But there were two accidents near 16th Street on the I-10, and whatever it was, it must have been. Where's the traffic report now?
Already a tap of the brake light starting right at around 75th Avenue, but not too bad. Maybe an extra minute or two on your commute there. Southbound I-17, a pickup in volume starting at Bethany Home Road, and that's going to stay with you right on in through the stack into downtown. But other than that, no major crashes to pass along. All looking good. Detour Dan, he's up next. John Bullock.
I guess that's just traffic going into that part of downtown on I-17. That looked like it was pretty jam-packed when I looked over to the right. Anyway, yeah, two accidents on the I-10, and it just showed dark red extending onto the 202 all the way to like 40th Street. And then thinking about maybe doing the 143 to the 10 and the 10 across to the 17 through the split. the 17, right after the split. Actually, kind of like right above at 16th Street. I thought about vlogging. I wasn't really wanting to vlog, but I thought about vlogging as I was going south on 16th Street, because going south on 16th Street towards I-17, I could see the accident up above where I-17 goes over 16th Street. I could see all the emergency vehicles and flashing lights and just gridlock traffic. But getting on at 16th Street, it was just smooth sailing. Like that was what people couldn't get past. And so getting on the freeway right after it was just like smooth sailing from there all the way to work. But looking at the Google traffic view, that had traffic backed up on the I-10 all the way to, I want to say past 32nd Street, like somewhere between 40th Street and 32nd Street. So yeah, I literally had no practical options for freeway coming from my side of town. And as busy as it was going through the airport, I don't know whether to say that was just because this is the time of year where people are leaving to visit family for Christmas, or if it was that many people who know how to use the map view to see where traffic jams are, that we're going, you know what? I think the quickest way across town is to go through the airport. But wasn't it? I mean, it moved, but it was a lot higher volume of traffic through the airport than normal when it went through. So it's occurred to me, I still haven't really talked about what happened when I went back to Bullock. So now I'm going on almost 2 weeks since it happened. To sum it up in a nutshell, the rumors of my death are greatly exaggerated. Apparently, the night that I didn't show up, where Jim, the owner, sent the text message saying that if he didn't hear back from me that night, that he was sick of the shit and that I was fired. Apparently there were a handful of people that were talking shit about me and laughing about me and saying that I wasn't there because I killed myself, which is pretty fucked up, to put it mildly. And I saw Jazzy while I was I think I vlogged going to the bar that morning, Friday, the next morning, Friday morning, to get my equipment. And I was chatting with my friend Boston and talking with Heather, the bartender. She's the one who told me that if everything went according to plan, the bar was supposed to change ownership within 2 weeks. And she's kind of worried about whether or not she's still going to have a job there. And I guess she's been there something like over 20 years as a bartender, which is just like, who's a bartender at the same location for that many years? It's just amazing. Heather, of course, by far my favorite bartender there, although I hardly ever work with her. Like, she hardly ever bartends during the karaoke show. It's usually Sean and Bree. And I haven't talked to Sean and Bree since I got fired / quit. I mean, you could say I quit because I didn't show up, but I did get a text message from Jim saying I was fired. I think he really wanted me to argue, or not argue, but beg him to keep the job. And all I had to say about him saying I was fired was thank you. So I think that kind of threw him for a loop. He did send me text the next day on Saturday, actually while I was sitting at the bar, right as I was getting ready to leave. Or not Saturday, I'm sorry, Friday. Not last Friday, but Friday before, when I was picking up all my equipment. And I got a double breakfast. Got myself a double breakfast, and like I said, I sat and chatted with Heather and well, you should really come back and talk to the new owners. I'm like, well, I said, maybe. I said, right now, I just need a break from this. It's just, I've emotionally and mentally not been in a really good place, and this gig has just not been helping the situation. Anyway, at one point, Jazzy came in and was just absolutely in tears. And I guess she had been up, from what she said, she had been up the entire night, just crying her eyes out and absolutely distraught, because she really believed what people were saying, and I don't even know where the hell they got that rumor from. It's pretty fucked up, but she genuinely thought that the reason I wasn't there for karaoke was that I had killed myself. And just when she saw I was there, she held me for like the longest time. Didn't think she cared that much about me. It was a little shocking.
At 6:03, it is 38 degrees in Buckeye.
Arizona votes.
Trump endorsed candidate for Attorney General Abe Hamadeh's lawsuit will head to a hearing on Friday after a judge's ruling.
The court is going to allow the Hamadeh campaign to review a certain limited number of provisional ballots that were not counted, and determine if they were rightfully not counted.
KTAR host and Valley Attorney Barry Markson says if the team finds enough evidence, the court may order an additional review of the ballots, but Markson stresses there must be enough evidence found to change the outcome of the election in order to move forward. The final result of a ballot recount for several races in Arizona could come as early as tomorrow.
Recounts are underway in 3 races, including for Attorney General and State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Just a handful of counties need to send their results to the Arizona Secretary of State's office, which will then submit a report to the court. A judge is expected to announce the winners tomorrow, but as the Secretary of State's office points out, litigation in the AG race may change the timeline for that race. Rizal Pasatino, KTAR News.
Carrie Lake has claimed for weeks that her loss in the race for Arizona governor was illegitimate. She's going to get the opportunity to make her case to a judge during a 2-day trial that is scheduled to begin today. After an investigation into allegations of racism and misogyny left current Suns owner Robert Sarver suspended.
If I didn't have to work tonight, I might go watch that.
NBA franchise has emerged.
I'm feeling it's going to be pretty wild.
And former college basketball player Matt Ishbia, along with his brother Justin, have finalized a purchase of majority ownership of the Phoenix Suns. Arizona sports host John Gambadoro says he spoke to someone close to Ishbia, and he believes he's a competitor.
Even in doing deals, it was winning rather than making.
I've been trying to follow all the election lawsuits. I mean, my gut feeling on all of them is that they're just going to go nowhere. But if any of the allegations that they're bringing are legit, it's going to be interesting for sure. And I am really glad that the judges are actually giving everybody their day in court, because I got a feeling if they didn't, that it would just go on like the 2020 election did, where people would be going on about saying that it was not a legitimate election, and at least in this situation, the judges are actually having trials and looking at evidence, and giving the chance, instead of just saying, oh, it's a baseless accusation. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the elections really were so close. I do think Carrie Lake's claim that the printers were deliberately sabotaged in Maricopa County is a pretty outrageous allegation, but maybe she's got evidence of it. So this will probably find out in the next day or two. right, look at that. We got 3 vehicles in the crosshatch intersection where nobody's supposed to stop. Did a video about how this intersection is kind of whack. And, yeah. A lot of people don't follow the signs to not stop in that area, but to be fair, that sign is really, really hard to see. Anyway, I'm just going to wrap this up now. I don't have too much more to say. And glad I finally got it off my chest what was going on with the whole I killed myself rumor at Bullock's. I haven't been back to Bullock since. I was planning on going last Friday morning and just didn't really feel I had the time for it. I didn't really feel I had the time for it. I do really want to go this Friday. I really want to see Heather and find out if the oh look, there's a cam. Talk to Heather and see if the change of ownership happened. I got a feeling I pretty much burned my bridge with Jim, and as I mentioned before, I've never really felt 100% comfortable with Jim, and it's hard to really explain why. It just seems like when we do talk, it's always kind of awkward. And you know, and I'm sure that's more me than him. I mean, it's just, you know, I've got a whole concoction of mental health issues, and a lot of times people take me the wrong way, and that's, you know, blame it on the autism, blame it on the schizoaffective disorder. Then again, maybe I'm just an asshole, but whatever. I think a lot of it just comes from the fact that some people just don't, you know, when they ask a question, they want to hear the answer they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear an honest answer. So, anyway, that kind of is what it is. I wish I could read the text messages to y'all, the last text messages from Jim, but kind of awkward. As I mentioned earlier, he texted me as I was getting ready to leave the bar on Friday, not last Friday, but the Friday before, and I think he asked, gosh, it's hard to remember, and it's been over a week, you know, going on 2 weeks, but he asked why I didn't call, you know, what happened and why I didn't call. And I said that I've been just struggling with crippling depression, and that I didn't wake up, that I was asleep. And I don't know if he can really fathom that. A lot of people don't really get that puzzle. Well, how could you have been asleep that whole time? I don't think he's ever really got the memo that I work a full-time, and this time of year, a full-time plus mandatory overtime warehouse job where I work a graveyard shift. It's 10.5 hours long with over an hour round-trip commute. So I don't think he has any concept of that, and the fact that as a consequence of that I'm a full-on day sleeper. So you know, the thought of not being awake that time of the day, I don't think he really grasps it. And as far as the depression, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to really say how anybody else understands anybody else's depression or whatever. But anyway, I probably didn't respond to him for like an hour, because when the text message came in, it was right as I was grabbing the last of my stuff and heading out. And so I didn't respond immediately. I didn't respond until I got home and had a chance to sit down and think of what I wanted to say. And I just basically said that, you know, that I didn't, pretty much what I just said, that I super depressed, didn't wake up, that I responded to him. That I said my last message to you, which was the one where I just simply said thank you, and then he had responded to thank you pretty much immediately. Well, what does that mean? Like, if you don't know what thank you means, I'm in no shape to try to explain that to you. And that was, at that point, I looked at that and I'm like, you mean, what does that mean? That's what I'm thinking in my head, and I didn't even respond. I just went back to sleep. I want to say that was like 2:30 in the morning on Thursday night, Friday morning. But yeah, when I typed back to him, I said that it was, I said that that my last text to him was when I woke up. That I messaged him as soon as I woke up. And then I gave him a couple of minutes and he didn't respond, which is kind of funny. Like, I mean, it took me about an hour to respond to him, so kind of unreasonable for me to expect him to respond within a minute or two. But I figured I'd throw in a little bit after that, and I just apologize, for inconveniencing him and letting him down. And that was it. It's kind of just an apology for not being there. And I never got a response from that. Haven't heard from him since. So don't quite know what to think of that. But yeah, I do want to go there on Friday. Talk to Heather, see what's going on, see if the bar did change hands. And it's hard to say whether I really want a gig there or not anymore. I think it might be good for my mental health to kind of quit doing karaoke for a while. But I do still want to, kind of keep feelers out there for doing private parties and whatnot. And the party that I did, by the way, on Saturday night, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but that went really well. Wasn't quite as exciting as the first one I did for him, but it went really well, and they seemed very happy, and were like, "Hey, we'll see you next year." So that's good. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's so cold out here, I can see my breath. I'm just popping in here to get my sip and save drink and call it a night.